Abbott, what time is it?
It's time for the Abbott and Costello Show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello Show.
Costello, what have you got in that box you brought in here tonight?
My Sam Shovel detective disguises. I worked on a case last night and I wore a disguise.
You did?
Yes. You should have seen me. I had a big bandage on my head, one arm in a sling, bandage. I had Band-Aids plastered all over my eyes. My left leg is in a cast, and I hobbled along on crutches.
Well, what were you disguised as?
A California pedestrian.
What is your Sam Shovel detective story for tonight?
It's a very interesting case, Abbott. I call it the case of the nephew who gambled away his mother's sister's salary, or he lost his aunt's pay.
Well, let's get on with the case.
Yes, I'm Sam Shovel. Sam Shovel, private detective. I never forget a face. I'm walking down the street to my little office. Suddenly in the crowd, I notice a woman. She's got a familiar face. I follow her. I decide to question her. Madam, aren't you Sadie the shoplifter?
No.
Let's look at your profile. You're Connie the counterfeiter.
I am not.
That's funny. I never forget a face. I know. Are you Polly the pickpocket?
Stop this foolishness, Sam. I'm your mother. And don't forget to come home for dinner.
I knew I seen her someplace. There goes one of those new underslung 1949 Hudsons. That car is built so low the California drivers are having trouble with them. They gotta jack them up before they can run over a pedestrian. This detective business is no cinch. It took me 5 years to get a toe hole on this business. I still ain't making any money. After all, how much business can you toe hole? I spent a lot of money on equipment. I just bought a new silencer for my gun. I think I'll put it on the gun and try it out. Perfect. Best silencer I ever had. Suddenly my phone rings. Sam Shovel, private detective talking.
Oh, Sam. This is Hyman, the stool pigeon, talking. Say, Sam, how would you like to lay your hands on the biggest mob of crooks you ever seen?
Herman, that would make me famous. Are you sure I can do it?
Sam, it's a cinch.
Good.
I got positive information that 1,500 crooks is going to be in a certain building tonight.
Good. What's the name of the building?
San Quentin. So long, copper.
It's times like this that I wish my pal Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad was here. Abbott is a real cop. Even his father was connected with the police department for years. He was connected with the police department the hard way. The hard way. By handcuffs. Lieutenant Abbott is no fool. He knows how to get promoted. Ever since he joined the department 5 years ago, he's been licking the captain's boots. He never got promoted, but now the captain has the cleanest boots and Abbott has the muddiest tongue in town. Abbott is a shrewd cop. He always keeps his eyes peeled. He has to keep his eyes peeled. His head looks like an Idaho potato. Abbott is carefree. He's really carefree. He don't care for nothing unless it's free.
Hello, Sam.
It's my pal, Lieutenant Abbott. And I dare say you look very pleased with yourself, Lieutenant Abbott.
Yep. I just did a good deed. I captured an old crook. He's 97 years old. The judge gave him life. But I felt sorry for him, Sam.
What did you do?
I had his sentence cut to 20 years.
That's my pal, Abbott. Square shooter. His motto was an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But it don't do him no good. Very few people want to trade eyes and teeth.
Sam, my wife wants you to come to our house for breakfast tomorrow morning.
I'll have to get out of this. Abbott's wife is the worst cook in the world. I had breakfast there yesterday, and it was the first time I ever tasted burnt orange juice.
always belittle my wife. Why, when I married her, she was considered the catch of the season.
You're right, Lieutenant. And she's still the biggest barracuda on the coast.
Never mind that, Sam. What case are you working on?
I'm after Marlowe, the crook with 1,000 disguises. Every time he pulls a job, he wears a different false nose. Then he pulls it off and throws it away. He's used so many false noses, he forgot what his own nose looks like. Yesterday, a terrible thing happened to him.
What?
He pulled off his own nose and threw it away.
Have you ever seen him?
No, but I got his description. He's 6 feet 11 inches tall, weighs 400 pounds. He's got light blue hair and his nose is missing.
But how will you know if you see him?
He wears loud neckties. And he's a dangerous man, Lieutenant. And before I start after him, I got to get my gun fixed.
What's the matter with it?
The jelly beans keep falling out of the handle.
Sam, how would you like to go with me to Mexico and capture Senorita Lolita, the famous jewel thief? Here's her picture.
She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She's...
Cut it, Sam. She's a thief.
Yeah.
She just stole a $5,000 mink coat.
I'd like to get my hands on that coat.
She's got $50,000 in stolen money in her safe.
I'd like to get my hands on that safe.
She's got $90,000 in jewels hidden in the top of her stocking.
I'd like to get my hands on that safe.
Sam, this trip to Mexico will be dangerous. Have you ever been to Mexico?
I used to fight bulls in Mexico. I was an out-of-door.
You mean a matador?
I took one look at the bull and I was out the door.
Sam, you'll find that Mexico is different from California. There the people drink tequila instead of whiskey.
That's different from California.
They wear serapes instead of coats.
That's different from California.
They take siestas in the afternoon, and you can see people lying all over the streets.
Same as California.
Let's go, Sam. We're off for Mexico to capture Senorita Lolita.
Good. There we were in Mexico. Lieutenant Abbott insisted we stop at the Caliente racetrack. What a gambler. Abbott is a real plunger. He's known as the biggest plunger in the police department. He's never bet any money, but he's great at cleaning out stuffed sinks. We left the racetrack and started tracking down Senorita Lolita. Senorita Lolita. We walked for hours.
Sam, we're lost. Knock on that hacienda door and find out where we are.
Oh, I knocked on the hacienda door. The door opened, and there stood the most beautiful senorita I've ever seen. She spoke.
Ah, saludos, amigas. Hey, little fat one. Would you like a kiss?
Believe me, this girl was beautiful. As I looked at her, eyelids fluttered, and my blood rushed to my head. Senorita, you are so beautiful.
Sam, that's the girl we're after.
Yes,
That's Senorita Lolita.
Yes.
She's dangerous. Be careful.
I will.
Okay.
In spite of the lieutenant's warning, I felt myself slipping. I spoke to the gorgeous senorita. Senorita, you are beautiful. You remind me of a girl that I was in love with, except for the style of your clothes.
You don't say. How did your girl dress?
I don't know. She always pulled her shades down. But you are more lovelier than she was. I think you're the most gorgeous creature.
Sam, please. I tell you,
Okay.
this woman is dangerous. The department has already sent 3 detectives down here to arrest her. Not one of them have ever returned. Senorita, where are all those 3 detectives? What have you done with them?
I had them locked in my patio.
What have you done to them?
Nothing. I feed them good. I kiss them and I hug them. And then I lock them back up in the patio.
Sam, we've got to save those men.
I'll save them, Lieutenant. I'll break down that patio door. Men, I'm Sam Shovel, the detective. I've come to take you out of here, away from Senorita Lolita. You're free, men. You're free. Now, what have you got to say?
Hit the road, Sam.
Go on, get lost, you smo.
Hit the dirt, you squirt. Get me out of here!
Well, Costello, what will be your Sam Shovel detective case be for next Thursday night?
Well, it's a very gruesome case, Abbott. I call it the case of the drowned crook who, when he held up a saloon to get some beer, or the bartender gave him both barrels.
Don't miss it, folks. Our writers are working on it now.
Yes, that they are. And our writing staff is headed by Eddie Foreman, Paul Conlon, Pat Costello, Martin Raggaway, and Leonard Stern.
And our vocalist is Hal Winters, and our show is produced by Charles Vander.
And we'll all be looking for you next Thursday night.
Good night, folks.
Good night, everybody in Patterson. Good night, and we love you all. Good night to everybody. Good night, Mother.
This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.